Hello Transformers fans, this is David Lees and I have today a comic book review of Transformers Galaxies issue 2, Constructicons Rising Part 2, featuring, as you can see, Bombshell here on the cover, as you would expect, obviously. But yeah, let's get straight on and straight in. This follows straight on from last time with when we had Constructicons Rising Part 1. The story so far, the Constructicons, are out typically going around remote asteroids and so on with minimal energon rations and are expected to rebuild Cybertron and its outlying asteroid colonies and so on. And they discover through a Constructicon Enigma they have the ability to merge, but only when they have enough energon to actually make it happen. They're a bit disjointed, they lack fluidity when they merge. Devastator really isn't all there yet. And we discover while they're on this distant asteroid that Bombshell, of all people, has found them. Violent, hungry, this group is perfect. You can almost hear his malevolence. Who do we have in this issue? Well, we have the Constructicons, Scrapper, Scavenger, Hook, Bone Crusher, Mixmaster and Longhaul. So here they are. This issue doesn't continue chronologically after the previous one. It's very strange, and it's almost tells a parallel story. It goes back to an earlier point in time, picks up the story from there and tells it from a slightly different perspective. So it's very similar to the straight Transformers Bold New Era stuff. You get a lot of back and forth and not much forward movement. So we'll see how we go. Bone Crusher comes across as quite a sadistic character here, scaring Scavenger and Hook. You two know I smash things apart all day, right? Demolition is my business, and business is good. I don't understand the point of all this brutality. It's very much beneath us, say the others. Meanwhile, he carries on clubbing these small, tiny force little protoforms. It's kind of foreshadowing his kind of general aversion to small, creepy, crawly life forms, perhaps. This is so much good. This is good, so much better than busting rocks apart. And they try and draw a consensus together, but basically Bone Crusher beats Scavenger and Longhaul consistently because they constantly revert to fear. There are other ways, and there are other ways of confronting your fear and how to react and so on. It's very much a talky ploddy talky, this one. So something's coming. Given the cold shoulder we've had from Cybertron since we finished construction a few cycles ago, I think we need to be prepared for more than a shuttle home. So there's more going on here, and the Constructicons are starting to become aware that they're being, as we saw last time, kind of set to the side of Cybertronian civilization. So here we go. They've discovered there's a way of taking scrap robots and so on, and using that to inject themselves with sort of refined or reclaimed energon. So here we are. This is so extreme. There hasn't been a war since before we were forged. Besides, Scavenger's worried about corrosives. All I'm thinking about now is getting energon from recycled waste, thanks to Hook's little invention here. So Hook has created this device that will take recycled waste and convert it into energon, just to keep them above rationing levels in terms of their energy. So there they are, plugging in. Meanwhile, on the same asteroid, there's these three rather interesting looking critters, creepy crawlies, that have the same kind of ability. The ability to take waste matter and feed on it and produce surplus energy for themselves. So we have here Kickback. Here we are, it's Kickback. There hasn't been enough to keep us properly satiated lately, Scrapnel. I was so ravenous that I ate too fast and now all my receptors are buzzing. This one even had actual droplets of sparks in it. So delicious. Makes me hungry for more, Bombshell. And you can almost hear it being a little heavy on the electrons. But here they are, having the same problem as the Constructicons, lack of energy, but they have the ability to take waste material and turn it into energy, and you get this hum as they feed and feast together. And they get the rush of power. Then they get a message from Shockwave. Things are moving glacially on Malak's Bombshell. I have never cared for procrastination. Explain to me why you haven't made any contact yet. So clearly Shockwave is manoeuvring the Constructicons and the Insecticons together so that the Insecticons can tame the Constructicons, enable them to form Devastator effectively. It's all part of this scheme that Shockwave has got going on. We happen to have good luck with an unfortunate soul. They've been busy eating. As you know, circumstances are not the same as they are on Cybertron. When fortune smiles upon you, only an organic would be foolish enough to look away. And Shockwave says, as it is your area of expertise, Bombshell. If you ever want to return, you'll execute the plan now. Yes, Shockwave, I'm nothing if not flexible, consider it done. So, we realised that the whole setup has been deliberately contrived to corner the Constructicons into a low energy, desperate situation and enable the Insecticons to come in. So meanwhile the Constructicons practice their fighting, sort of hand-to-hand melee fighting, outthink and outsmart, and eventually will outlast your opponent. Meanwhile, they suddenly hear something come in. We're not supposed to be fighting. Cybertron cannot find out about this. And where? We need to catch it first. Something's crept in, an uninvited spectator, burrowing near Bone Crusher, and they find that it is Bombshell, no less, with rather more legs than I remember him, but still alive. How about we let you go? How about you let go of our friend and we can chat? So Bombshell puts him down. Ah, chat, that's all I wanted, but then you started chasing me. Hook, we need to be careful. He witnessed unsanctioned combat. If we need to take drastic action, we will. But proceed with caution, Constructicons. Follow my lead. Isn't that what we always do? And Bombshell talks to them. I'm Bombshell. I've been a fan of yours for quite a while. I know you should stick to building because you're too earnest to lie. We haven't had a threat to this foul rock. So why... since we arrived, so why would they suddenly call for new training? Bombshell sees straight through them. We get a history into the forging and the construction, but the forging of the Insecticons, who have this ability to turn waste into energy, which is great. Autobots and Decepticons alike can help recycle, reuse and reduce, all those other environmentally friendly attitudes. The thing is, the Autobots, and this looks a little like Brainstorm, I might be wrong, started to study them to understand how they can metabolize surface metal and turn it into energy. It's a lot of backstory, and like I said, it runs in parallel with the previous issue. It gives us more Insecticon history than Constructicon. So it's okay, but there isn't much action. They throw in a kind of a sword fight between the Constructicons just for good measure. Now, Bombshell explains how the Decepticon establishment, the Cybertron establishment, used them and discarded them when they weren't necessary anymore. Very manipulative character, Bombshell, as you would expect, lining up the Constructicons. And Bombshell says, I have the means to give you something you've never had before, choice. You need to break your chains, and you're all smart enough to realise that I can provide you with the proper tools to smash your shackles to pieces. You've been imprisoned as half-selves for megacycles. Fear led to your banishment, just as it did mine. So, the rather ominously large footprint. If this was that's either a footprint, or possibly a fist print, hammering in the ground. Fear of the form that once shook the very foundation of Cybertron. If this was a film, you'd hear a thud and it would vibrate slightly. So, to be continued. So we can see already Bombshell lining up the Constructicons to become Devastator and to become Shockwave servants, basically, either through neural shells, his neural control shells, or just straight manipulation. A lot of lovely cover art. Next issue, Devastator. You can see the Constructicons inside there trying to work it all out. Same picture of Bombshell as we had on the cover. Really nice picture here of the Constructicons as a team, as a sort of group shot. And another one less to my style, but still very nice. Transformers: The Hunt Is On. This was the issue 13 that I reviewed recently. One of the better ones. 13 and so on, getting better. Other things, bold new era Transformers. I'm not convinced. I'm still going with era rather than era. Lots of walking and talking, as you may recall. Rom Diawraith's not my cup of tea, but still. And then the review on the back as usual. So there we are. Slow, uninspired, typically in line with the new modern iteration of Transformers comic books. Hoping for better next time. Hoping it'll all kick off. Otherwise I should just cancel. I can't run two Transformers comics when they're both dull as this. I'll leave it there. say goodbye for now, and until next time, transform and roll out.